Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Polkadot. And usually before we do, we look at Bitcoin, but I'm just going to summarize really quick for you. We're right at about 51,500 and 52,000. So kind of in between there, just kind of hanging out, trying to average up essentially and break that resistance level at 52,300. The key takeaway here is that we bounced off of a strong support level at 49,500 recently. It's been progressing up ever since. Higher highs, higher lows, and we got to celebrate that. It's giving us less fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the market and more, I guess you could say, certainty, right? People are feeling better and altcoins are starting to increase. So all good stuff there. Now, before we get started here, I just want to kind of preface and let you know that I'm not a financial advisor, right? I just love teaching people how to trade. This is my favorite thing to do, right? It's my full-time job. I just love helping people become better financially, and crypto is probably the easiest way to do that. And now, this being my full-time job, I can tell you it's definitely doable. And just note that this is again for educational purposes. I hope you learn a thing or two here today. If you want to learn more, obviously, more in-depth, deeper dive on just being an awesome trader. I have a trading community, of course, with a link in the description below where I actually send out signals for every single trade that I take too, and usually explain why, and it's a really good learning experience. But I also am rolling out with the Trading Academy next month, so just to let you know, it's getting a lot better, more robust. We're going to have a website and everything going to be fully legitimate. So I hope that you benefit there, of course, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look at here at Polkadot. And a couple things to note here, and it's not a super big concern, but the 50-day sub moving average is working its way down. I think the 200 is more relevant, and we're up over that, so that's more important in the big picture. But we could see some resistance from that 50 working its way down. Also note as well, the simple fact of the matter is that when a 50 intersects with a 200 in a downward fashion, that's considered to be a death cross. So we could effectively see that first week of January as a potential kind of rejection or pushing the price action down. Once more, a lot of coins rely on Bitcoin, so unless Bitcoin has a death cross, we really shouldn't be that concerned about it. Just generally saying that right now, okay? Because again, DOT is doing very well, but Bitcoin is doing well as well. It's got a very similar pattern, okay? We just got to be real with that. Now, taking a look here at the RSI, we're looking at a 50 plus on the RSI. That's excellent news. It basically tells us the bearish sentiment has waned and the bulls are waxing, if you will, right? They're moving in. They've taken control, essentially. You can see this over the last week of trading. We've seen the oscillator basically tell us specifically that we are in bullish, not bearish sentiment, okay? So that's great. It's good to see that shift after about 5 weeks of straight downward momentum for most coins. So this is really good news here, but I would say the macro for Polkadot is above average, and we don't have anything major to be concerned about minus that 50-day SIP moving average. Now looking here at the 4-hour, which I find to be more relevant in regard to moving averages, this being kind of more of a midterm time frame, the 50-day SIP moving average is working its way up. That is essentially going to be considered a support level. We're also up over the 200, so we could see essentially a golden cross here. That could occur as well near month end. So just bear in mind that could push the price action higher. I feel more certainty with this than I do the one-day chart as far as that convergence essentially, right? When those two things intersect, you'll more likely see a result rather on the 4-hour chart. Now looking at resistance here, we got the RSI's up over 70 on the 4-hour. Not to say it's a bad thing, and if you've seen my RSI video, which I have, kind of explains when to take profits with RSI. We're at a point right now we don't want to close our position, right? We want it to continue to increase. But if there's other factors, of course, involved, and the price is coming down, that's usually a good point in which you might want to consider trimming your profit. Now, I don't recommend that based on the current scenario, just based on overall how the macro looks very good for DOT, so I don't really think we're going to see a significant retracement. But the truth be told here, if we look at TD sequential, we're getting really over-exaggerated, right? Or just overextended, however you want to put it. The price is a little bit on the overextended side, so we've actually had a 1 all the way through to a 9. If you're new to the channel too, by the way, TD sequential basically just tells us that when you hit a 9, in other words, 9 candles worth of bullish momentum, it's basically taking the 4th previous candlestick and counting up to 9. Once you hit a 9, it's supposed to retrace or consolidate. Now, we've got a consolidation phase here. Don't get me wrong, there's 12 hours of straight consolidation, but this most recent leg up didn't give us that reset that we typically look for. You need to have a little bit longer of a period of consolidation. Therefore, we might see the price kind of come back down. But here's the beautiful thing. The way that the price had consolidated above the support of $31 even, tells me that that is the bottom. So if the price does come back down to kind of just consolidate, reset, or whatever it needs to do, we're going to see 31 probably be the baseline here for Polkadot. So it's a really good sign ultimately. It basically just tells us we have really good momentum, good potential to the upside. Okay. So all good stuff there. I'm not super concerned with that being, potentially overexhausted. I would say the 1 hour is more relevant to pay attention to. And it does look like we're actually only at about, okay, we're at a 9. This isn't terrible. But if you see, we're at a 9 here, of course, so we could see the price kind of come back down. But just note, this is not a tremendous amount of movement, and this little consolidation phase here gave it enough time to relax. So if it were to continue to progress upwards, it wouldn't be a problem at all, wouldn't be considered to be overextended by any means, because it's had, every time it increases, it goes sideways for at least 10 to 12 hours. So hypothetically, based on this trend alone, we could see another 6 hours of consolidation to the side and then another leg up. Now those legs up, what are they? They're approximately 4%. So we've seen about 3 or 4% increases in a short amount of time, followed by a brief period of consolidation. So if history repeats itself, which it tends to do so a lot in crypto or just trading in general, we could see 5 to 6 hours of sideways action, followed by a 4 or 5% increase to the upside. Okay, but this doesn't have any signs of wanting to slow down. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ichimoku Cloud. In fact, this is kind of corroborating the fact that it's in good shape right now. In other words, the price is up over the cloud, right? Step number 1, price above the cloud. Step number 2, conversion line over the baseline. We're good to go there. Conversion line, baseline. And the last step, of course, is to ensure that this isn't free of any price action. So unless the price dips down here to the support level, which isn't a problem, by the way, if it does, we wouldn't have that sell signal by the lagging span. Okay. So just keep in mind, the price does retrace down to 31 cents, just being a better buying opportunity. It wouldn't be a problem at all. It's just kind of that natural progression of something making higher highs and higher lows, right? If it comes down, that's okay, it'll bounce. What I'm speculating is the lowest point, we'll see the low. The lowest low we should see, or sorry, the lowest high. Let me rephrase that. The highest low that we're looking for needs to be higher than $31.60. Okay, because ultimately to be able to get that higher low, we'd want to come up here. So, it would be ideal if the price didn't come down to 31. Again, not a problem if it did, but optimally, we'll see the price dip down to just say 31.70 is a round number, and then continue on its way up. Actually, the most optimal way would be for the price just to continue up as well after a brief period of consolidation, right? Again, just giving you kind of some of the scenarios there that could possibly happen, but right now, Ichimoku Cloud is basically saying, hey, green light, good to go. Hold your position open, don't bother selling at all, okay? And this is a conservative indicator too, by the way. Just because it gives you that indication of a sell signal doesn't mean you necessarily have to, especially if you're holding for a long-term time frame, which we are as a community. We actually have a swing trade signal open right now, and our take profit target is right here at about $35. And I think we got in somewhere in the range of 25. So we're going to be experiencing some good amount there. We're already at about a 30% increase. But for now, ultimately, I can tell you that the macro looks very good on DOT. I do think that Polkadot will be back to its all-time high eventually, or just it's inevitable, right? And if we take a look at this here too, just say the last 7 days of trading, we've seen about a 37% increase. So hypothetically, if we see that same type of, sentiment, so to speak, in the next week, by, the start of the year, so to speak, or first week of January, we could see the price somewhere in the range of 39 to 45. Okay, so I'd say within the next week, we'll see 39 to 45 from DOT, but in the immediate future, I would say the next target should be around $36. And make sure that, of course, you always set your profit target for a level just below that. That's why we're at 35 for our profit target, because it's just below a Fibonacci retracement line. You always want to set profit targets, no less than 3, by the way, but if you're going to set a profit target, whatever one you're setting, you want to shoot for a price just below a major resistance level, because when you set a target right at a major resistance level, it's oftentimes the price will not get filled because it's a major resistance, right? Sometimes the price will just get inevitably rejected by that. So just some friendly advice there. Consider taking profits prior to a major resistance level. Okay, I hope that makes sense, and I hope you learned something here today, of course. On to the next, learn as much as you can, of course, become a better trader, get more confident, paper trade if possible too. It's a really good way to kind of hone your skills. And ultimately, if you want a leg up, I send out signals for every single trade that I take. I have a trading academy I'm rolling out with next month. And ultimately, everyone's finding great benefit in the community. So feel free to join that. First of the month, we will have slots available for that. Okay, so we're just kind of full right now. I want to make sure I get everyone the best experience possible. Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to seeing the next one. We'll see you then. Take care.